Combined forces are dropping near your position. Anyone leaving? On the aircraft, now!
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give a breakdown of Hazard Zone in Battlefield 2042 and some of the strategies I've used to get wins when playing with randoms without comms. This is what makes Hazard Zone so tough at the moment, and one of the reasons I think it gets a lot of hate is because if you're playing with randoms you can't communicate with them other than dodgy pinging and some text chat. However, if you play smart, it doesn't have to be too painful, and you can always be a little bit selfish and make sure your team or yourself gets extracted so you can get gashed to get back into the game. Now, I'm not going to give an in-depth review here of the mode, but it will give you a good idea of the main mechanics of the game alongside some strategy that I use to be successful. If you enjoy it, then maybe drop a like, and if you're new here, which most of you probably are, maybe subscribe and leave a comment for some more content you might like. So first off, the key gameplay loop is you pick a specialist, pick a loadout, get dropped into a map, find data drives which are defended by AI, contested by other teams, get as many as you can, survive, extract, repeat. Easy. So first off, you get this briefing area with a map and some indication of where hot locations may be for data drives. Honestly, I don't pay much attention to this. You're just going to head for whatever drive is closest, and no one is taking screen grabs for later reference. So now we move on to the most important part of the gameplay, pre-game, and that's picking your specialist and loadout. Now, I always pick Angel if I have the option. He's great team support, and he also gives you the ability to survive on your own. His abilities allow you to give out armor and ammunition, and if you combine this with a medkit, then you're set, really, even if you get stranded by yourself. Now, before picking a weapon, I generally wait to see what my teammates pick. My preference is to try and run a DMR or a sniper, as I like to play from range and be that more of a support role. But sometimes you play with a team and everyone picks a DMR, and then it's much smarter to go for an AR and SMG so that you can take those close fights when you need to. In this game, for instance, I go with the SVK, and actually both of these gameplays I run the SVK. It's an all-round great gun for some range fights. For my gadget, I just take the data drive scanner. In hindsight, I probably should have taken the medkit, as no one else did. Then I have the bonus cash utility for killing AI and a free respawn for my team. Now with Angel, no one on my team needs to bring armor in, but as you can see, everyone does. And you know, that's pretty normal. I normally type in the text chat to say that they don't need to bring it in, but there's not much you can do. So my key with the loadout here in both these games is just to provide support for my team. I'm not looking to run and gun in every fight, I just want to pick people off from range. And as you'll see, most of the time the rest of your team will just run into every fight they see, and that doesn't always pan out so well. So as you see when we first come into the map here, you can see the enemy helicopter at range. That's something I always look for. You can see where the closest team is to you, and pretty much teams spawn pretty close to each other, so you're always within a few hundred meters of another team, and that's something that a lot of my teammates never really think about, and they'll just run ahead and end up getting caught out in the open. And then another good thing to notice here, you'll see these white parachute icons on the map. There'll be one with an arrow, one with a little ranger icon, and one with a vehicle icon. These are redeploys or call-ins you can get. Obviously one is to call in your squad, one's to get a ranger, and one's to get a vehicle. These are essential. You'll normally get a call out from the announcer when there's one coming near you, but always go and pick them up. Rangers are super helpful, vehicles are OP in this mode, and obviously being able to redeploy your squad is essential. Now we start to move towards the first data drive here, which is a few hundred meters away. My teammate wants to go on the quad bike, and I'm not okay with that because I know there's that other team there, and I know we're probably going to get in a fight here. And you can see straight away, they roll up, one of them gets downed, and this team thinks they've got the advantage, but luckily because I played it a bit slower and I've got that range, I'm able to pick one of them off there and kind of turn the tide a bit against them. Now with this angle I've gotten them, they've not really got much cover apart from this mud, and so by shooting and moving around across the map, we're able to put a lot of pressure on them and really get the advantage in this fight.
There can't be many more unsecure drives at this point. You're gonna have to hunt them down.
So you see my play here is really just to keep the pressure on them, and I'm hoping that my team is actually going to start pushing up as well. I think we've got two of them down at this point. And they're having to pull back and try and get into a better position. I now move to the flank to keep moving around the right side, and you can see my team start pushing straight down the road.
Cancel! Cancel!
Enemy reinforcements
Now you see that red parachute icon that just popped up? That's another team calling in reinforcements, so they're redeploying their squads. They've obviously lost 1 or 2 members. So that's always something to keep in mind. It doesn't really give you an idea of where it is on the map, but you can see the direction it is, and I always try and keep an eye in the sky because you'll see people parachuting back in. So you can see now I'm having a look because I'm not actually sure where they're coming in from. But we haven't quite wiped this squad yet. There's one guy left. He takes down one of our guys. He's hiding behind this truck here, so try and nade him. And yeah, he just peeks me there and able to get a couple of shots. So that's one squad wiped. You can actually, there's a little, I don't want to say it's I don't know if it's a glitch in the game or if it's intentional, but if you bring up your menu, you can actually see how many squads are left in the game. There'll be the squad list, and it will tell you can work out there how many other teams are left still on the map. It's a good thing to do late game if you know you're going to be fighting other teams for extraction. Now we're going to jump ahead a little bit here, but we actually get a vehicle called in. And like I said before, these are super powerful. You've got a gun on the top. And most other teams and the AI aren't really running anti-vehicle gear. No one's really got any launchers or C5, so you should be pretty well protected. And when you roll up another team exposed like you're about to see here, like, you can just absolutely destroy them. So you see we roll up here and we quickly spot another team when we come over this ledge, and I think there's some AI there as well. The guy on the gun instantly opens up and we're able to just get a good position on them, and like I said, there's nothing they can do, and we wipe the squad. This is actually quite a good squad I was playing with here. We stayed together for the most part. Unfortunately, things now go a bit downhill. So you can see up ahead, that's AI parachuting in. They'll do this throughout the game, particularly near when the data drives start dropping in from the sky, and then also when there are extractions, they'll drop in all over the extractions. And you really can't take AI for granted. Lots of people do. I guess if they're new to the game, they just run up on them, but you really need to try and keep your range, because you end up coming across like 5 AI together, and they will wipe you if you're not careful. So we're able to take out this first kind of squad of AI, but then one of our team gets knocked, and you'll see in a second here, another AI squad starts dropping in on us. There you go. So we've got this other AI team coming in, and we're in a terrible position on the side of this hill. And a couple of us make some bad decisions here. So I try and take them out, but then one of them gets knocked, and the other guy's low on health. Here I should just push back. I should just back off. We've got redeploys. We can reset this. But now we've lost another guy down. I'm only on like 5 HP, I get knocked, and then again this teammate here, he's the last one alive, he should just get out of there. Like, you're better off just staying alive. Like, it's not that hard to recall your team in. You can escape the AI on foot quite easily, but he came to revive me, and that was the end of that, unfortunately. Sometimes you just have to play a bit selfish and call your team back in, or go for an extraction if you can't call them back in. Like, the most important thing is to extract. That's where you get your money and your rewards from. So now we come into this second game. Here I'm playing with another squad on Orbital, and this game actually moves much better. Again, I'm running the SVK, trying to play from range. It starts off quite bad. A couple of our team go down here on this first engagement over the data drives. I think there ends up being 2 enemy squads here. It's really unclear sometimes in these fights who you're fighting, but easiest way to tell is if you look at someone and their red name tag comes up. If it's AI, it will say like private something or sergeant. That's obviously AI. Obviously if it's user tag, gamer tag, then you know it's a gamer. And obviously if you kill someone, you'll see in the kill feed whether it's AI or a player. So I end up taking out that first guy, but we're not sure. Like, it's quite hard to figure out exactly what's going on here. So my game plan is just to play at range, take some damage there, get into cover, just trying to re-heal here and let my team take the fight on. Again, one of our squad goes down. Not everyone's on full health. You can see everyone's health bar above the mini-map. So we're in a bad position here. And you can see my team just start backing off, and that's the smart play. And we end up just backing off and getting out of this fight. We're not like, I don't know if there's one team there or two teams or AI or what's going on, but it was a really difficult fight to try and push. Particularly with the SVK, like I shouldn't be pushing buildings like that. So anyway, we back off and reset, and that's the smart thing to do. Like, you've got to survive to extraction, that's the key. Like, if you don't think you're going to win a fight, just back off. If you're in a bad position, just back off and reset. Like, these maps are huge, you've got plenty of room to reset the fight. Again, teammate rushes in. That's what a lot of people do, they just run straight into the fight. Time to kill is very quick. You're much better off playing slow, I find, on this mode. So I'm there again, just providing cover for these guys. Teammate's gone in to get some data drives. I flank around to help him out while another teammate gets knocked. Grab a data drive here. I'm very cautious that we know there's another team here. I think I hear some footsteps out there, so I chuck a couple of grenades over. And then I hear footsteps outside the building, so I run out and go for a flank. And there you go, enemy player there. Able to knock them. And then I go for the finish. I don't always go for finishes because it can takes quite a few bullets sometimes if you don't get a headshot. And so here, I just get up on the roof to provide support again, overwatch for my team as they collect the rest of the drives. And you can see I'm able to help there and take that guy out, and then continue providing support.
Here we go. Extraction aircraft on final approach.
Now at this point, it's, you know, it's a 50-50 split. What do? We could go for the early extraction and get out and take what we've got. We've already got quite a few data drives, and that is the move that we end up deciding to make. And I think it's a smart move, even though things end up getting pretty wild here, as you'll see. I'll let it play out.
Drive secured. Good work. Extraction aircraft on the ground. Hold tight. Scorpion, drop the data drive. Recover it.
So yeah, you can see, break down what happens there. Our car flips on the way in. There's AI all over the drop. Managed to take one out and get downed. And actually, you'll see here that I counted as a successful extract. You can see that green tick next to me. And I've had this a couple of times. If you get downed, if you crawl next to the plane, you'll count as a successful extract. So, good thing to remember. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.